Welcome back to Talking Ship with Cherry Moon Travel. And I am Rosie. And today we are going to talk about something I see a lot of questions about things you can bring on the ship with you. So I call this episode Leave This Stuff at Home. It is prohibited items. So I'm going to start off with something someone asked. What does one do to get wrinkles out of their clothes without an iron? So you cannot bring an iron with you. You cannot bring uh, steamers. Now, again, I do like to give insight into when I first started cruising and how things have changed. So again, I started cruising in 2002, and in 2024, things have changed tremendously. So I used to take a steamer with me on every cruise. You could fill it up and you could steam. You cannot do that anymore. So I have the list here with me, and I want to make sure that I read it so it's accurate. But do not bring irons, steamers, immersion heaters, heating blankets, water heaters, coffee machines, hot plates, toasters, heating pads, or humidifiers. So, to answer the question about what you do with your clothes that are wrinkled, number one, what I do is I iron them before I pack them. That actually keeps them more um, less wrinkled when you take them out. They do, of course, they're probably going to get wrinkled in your luggage. But another thing you can do is you can hang it up in the bathroom on the door and close it while you are um, showering, and the steam might help. But another thing is on every cruise ship, with the exception of Luminosa, Firenze, and Venezia, there are places you can go and iron your clothes if they're that bad. My advice is you're on a cruise. Everyone knows you brought your clothes in your luggage. I know you don't want to wear it like super wrinkled where it's so bad it looks bad. But for the most part, if it has some wrinkles in it, it's okay. We all are in the same boat, so to speak, and it's all right. But if you need to get it ironed, you can also speak to your stateroom attendant, and they can send it off and have it pressed for you if you would like. Of course, that's going to cost you, but you can do that. Some other things I want to talk about that I see people ask a lot is alcohol. You can bring on board 750 milliliters of champagne or wine. You cannot bring hard liquor. You cannot bring beer. 750 milliliters of wine or champagne. Some of the things, and I've even seen some photos of pictures, pictures of things people want to bring on board. You cannot bring. You cannot bring alcohol with you onto the ship. If you bring wine or champagne, it has to be packed in your carry-on luggage. Bring it with you. You'll take it through security with you. They'll look at it. If it's okay, they'll let you continue on. If it's not, they will confiscate it. So be mindful of that. Please do not try to just pack things in your suitcase and think you'll get away with it, because they probably will find it and take it out. Also, everything has to be in a no plastic and no glass. So you cannot bring bottled water in plastic bottles, and you can't bring glass bottles on board. So it has to be in a um, like a boxed, or I want to make sure I use a carton or a can is how you bring it on. So you can bring on Soda, you can bring on water, only if it's in a can, and it's I don't know how strict, every cruise ship might be different, but it's usually limited to 12 cans. So a 12-pack can of soda, or if you drink canned water, I don't know anyone who does, but if you drink things of that nature, you can bring that on, but you have to bring it on with you. Also, I mentioned in another one, if you need a distilled water for your CPAP, you can get that on board through Carnival. They sell it by the gallon. It's about $5, and I don't need a whole gallon for a cruise, so um, you can bring some with you. Again, cannot be in plastic. Has to be in a can, but you can bring that on board with you. If you carry it with your CPAP machine, that's fine too. So you can bring that. Um, of course, we all know like not to bring weapons. Please don't bring weapons on board. We're all there on vacation. We want to have a great time. We want to enjoy the experience. We want to enjoy the amenities, but we also want to feel safe and have fun. So please don't bring weapons on board or try to. Um, One thing I see on this list that I think is interesting is that handcuffs. Um, that's all I'm going to say about that. But just to let you know, they are prohibited. So please do not try to bring your handcuffs on board. Um, of course, like Heelys and wheels and things with that, like that on there. Don't bring that kind of stuff. Don't bring any items that burn. So you can't bring candles or incense. Or one thing on here says inflatable kiddie pool. I don't know whoever brought a pool onto a ship, but hey, it must have happened because it made the list. Um, don't bring large radios. And when you do, I've seen people talk about bring like speakers. Hmm, there's plenty of music on the ship. There's DJs. There's live music. I know some people want to hear their own, but please be mindful of those around you. If you're going to bring a speaker, I don't think it's prohibited, but just be aware of your surroundings, and everyone may not enjoy the same kind of music. So it's just a matter of respect to me. Um, and let's see. I think, I mean, a lot of this stuff, I would suggest that you make sure you read the list of prohibited items before you pack to leave so that you don't have a lot of things confiscated from you. One thing I know a lot of people like to bring is like pocket knives and things of that nature. Maybe they used to call them Swiss Army knives where they have all the different tools on one. I did see where someone got that confiscated, so be mindful of that. Bringing those types of things on board, they could also be considered in a category of a weapon. So be mindful of that. And of course, I'm going to wrap up with drugs. Please don't bring drugs on. Um, I've heard people saying they're smelling drugs on the ship. That's interesting, but be mindful of that also. So that's a very short and brief list. The list is long and very detailed. I would recommend anyone, especially as a first time cruiser, that you please go on and look at that list and not just rely on group feedback. Um, you should really read the official documentation that comes from the cruise ship. So, with that, I want to thank you for coming back, and I hope you found this somewhat helpful. And um, again, I do these to share my experiences, to share uh, what I've learned over the years of cruising for the past 2 decades, how things have changed. And I see a lot of questions that could easily be answered without having to wade through tons of snarky remarks that people give sometimes in these groups. Um, and I also see that a lot of the information is not always valid. So I thought it was useful to come on here. So if you're learning something or you want to continue to be aware when these videos come out, let me know. And I wish you a wonderful day and happy sailing.